Hello, and welcome to another recipe from Ministry of Flavour. So, in my ongoing quest to pick all the low-hanging fruit available and jumpstart this channel, today we're going to be making one of the easiest recipes I know how to make, flapjack. So to start with, you're going to need a pan, much like this one. To this pan, over low heat, you're going to add your butter. Now, you could cube it up and save yourself time if you live your life at a fever pitch of intensity, or you could ruminate about the mysteries of life whilst you watch it slowly melt. That is what I did. Gosh, what a symphony of battleship grey my kitchen is. Reminds me of the time I was on a real battleship, actually. So anywho, back in the kitchen. No, the white balance on my camera isn't suddenly off. What you'll find is that as the butter separates into its fats and solids, you can expect it to turn this nuclear shade of yellow. Once your butter has melted, you're going to want to add the rest of your ingredients. First, the sugar. Here I'm using Demerara because I want that hint of caramel it's going to provide to the flavour in the background. Next, and it really wouldn't be flapjack without this, comes the golden syrup. Look at that ooze. You almost have to admire it. I should say here that if you're using unsalted butter for this recipe, it's a good idea to add a pinch of salt here. Salt will really help to enhance and contrast with the sweet flavours coming from the sugar and the syrup. A lot of ordinary recipes will tell you to either take the ingredients off the heat or just keep them over a low heat until the sugar is dissolved. But we're not making ordinary flapjacks. We're making Ministry of Flavour flapjacks. Flapjacks, which are a cut above, quite frankly. For that reason, you're going to take things a little further. What you want to do is brown the milk solids from the butter slightly to give you a bit of a nutty, toasted flavour. What you'll find is that once the water has evaporated from the butter, it's going to start to foam like this. You need to be careful here and keep an eye on it. You just want to take it on slightly a bit to give it some colour, but you don't want to burn the milk solids. As soon as you reach this point, it's a good idea to take things off the heat and add your oats. I'll be putting more information on the website, but I've used two kinds of oats here, jumbo oats and rolled oats. Together they provide a more interesting texture, and without sounding too much like Nigella, I'm all for a more interesting texture. Stir the mixture to combine and make sure that all the oats are covered in the butter mixture. It's around about here that I wish I'd used a bigger pan. Now it's on to final assembly. It's also decision time. Do you want your flapjacks to be thicker and chewier, or thinner and crispier? What you end up with really depends on how thin you spread your mixture. I'm going to go for relatively thick and chewy here, and I'll be using a square brownie tin. Here's my pro tip for lining a tin with some baking parchment and getting it to stick. Use some butter in each corner. Now you want to add your flapjack mixture and level it out with a spatula like I'm doing here. Once you've done that, it's into a preheated oven. Around 160 degrees for a chewier version, close to 190 for a thinner, crispier version. I would say keep an eye on them though. Because of the high sugar content, these are liable to burn quite easily if you leave them in the oven for too long. Somewhere between 20 to 25 minutes later, you should have something golden brown and smelling, quite frankly, amazing. Once they're out of the oven, you want to let them cool for a few minutes before making some initial cuts in places where you want your finished flapjack to be. If you do it straight out of the oven, your mixture will be too soft, leave it too late, and it's like trying to slice through concrete. As you can see, I went for some pretty uniform bars, which should break apart relatively easily when it's cooled. And there we have it, flapjack, the much more solid and much sweeter version of porridge. Seriously though, give them a go and let us know how they turned out. Sweet, oaty, chewy, or crunchy. Maybe the redeeming face of the tray bake? I don't know. Give them a go, let me know.